Hi, my name is Mpere Kobe. I'm the founder and CEO of Celerity Networks. We are in our offices in Midrand. We build and operate fiber to the home networks, basically what we call open access networks, where we do not provide the services, we provide the connectivity between the user and the ISPs, and the ISPs provide services over our network. Started working in the electrical space, moved into broadcasting and then telecoms, basically related. And then about 2001, I started my first business building wireless networks for operators, the Celerity network, for example. Over the years decided to stop working on projects and started working on an annuity type business where I'm not dependent on somebody giving me a deal, but building something that generates revenue on its own. And this is where Celerity started. We went live with our first sites last year. 2001, when I started my first business, I was 32, 33, to design and build cellular networks for operators. At the time, the first line was CLC. We got involved in rolling out coverage into the 2010 stadiums for the World Cup. Now, when I came back to Gauteng, that was the end of 2015. It took me 2 years to get the first deal in Gauteng. So for the 2 years, I've been knocking on doors. Some of them were opening gently, you peep in and they close it. Some of them were just banging. Some of them were just promising. But when we got the first one at the end of 2017, soon thereafter, we got 4 in a row. When I signed those first deals, by the way, I didn't have the money. I didn't know how I'm going to fund them. Got that signed, went and looked for money, had a few bobs in my pocket, not enough, but had to raise money to roll out the first sites. And then that's the journey where we are now. Every single development since we signed with them is coming to us, against the likes of Metro Fibre, Telkom, Vodacom, right? After a couple of years, then I moved into marketing, because in the back of my mind, I always wanted not only to know what the equipment do, but how do they make money. When I started Movera in 2001, the idea behind it was very simple. No one had a business in my family. So the goal was, show the kids it can be done. You don't determine where you come from. Your background is not your choice, but where you end up is your choice. If you end up rich and unhappy, it's your choice. If you end up poor and happy, it's your choice. So the main goal was always, I want my kids to think about generating an income as opposed to earning a salary. But by the time I met Sabula, who was developing in Polokwane, that was not the first time I was thinking about fiber to the home. It probably been a year or 2, right, digesting it. But the market wasn't ready until Vumatel started. When Vumatel started, that changed the dynamics. Every day there is a struggle that you need to work through. But that is what makes it worthwhile, because it allows you to challenge yourself beyond what you think you're capable of. I think the first start is the drive. The most important thing is not the outcome, it's the input. What drives you should come from inside. When you hit obstacles, right? Because you're not looking for external stimulus, you're looking inside, right? You go back in there and find it. The second thing is, ultimately, what are you willing to give up to pursue that drive? If you drive yourself so hard, your health suffers. What's the point? Every morning I take a walk, right? About 35, 40 minutes. And the beauty with that walk, I don't take earphones and listen to music. No, it's just for me to think, right? Gives me a bit of clarity of, okay, am I on the right track? What are the issues, right? Because when you wake up first thing in the morning, your mind is at its clearest. So you can digest a lot of information and replay a lot of the key things that were worrying you. If you're not consuming information, you're being left out, right? Every single day, I read a couple of articles. Some of them have got nothing to do with what I do. I listen to some of these TED Talks. Some of them have got nothing. I mean, this morning I was listening to one about water and water scarcity and what would I do with water in my business? Not really, but they are solving problems. And in business, you're solving a problem that other people want solved. They reward you for it. They pay you for solving that problem. And that's it. You always have to find better ways of solving that same problem. If you do not experiment, how do you know if these things would work? You'll make mistakes, that's fine, but experiment. Now, if you make a mistake and dwell on it, then you're stuck. Make a mistake, learn, move on, try another one. The importance of hiring the right people is usually underestimated. Culture, in fact, there's a saying where somebody was saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. The culture of the organization, more than anything, determines the success of that organization. And therefore, if you were to do one thing, more than anything, is the kind of people you hire. If you have to choose between skills and attitude, attitude wins all the time. People with the right attitude are easy to mold, and you can implant the kind of culture you want. The highlights for me in terms of being an entrepreneur, taking an idea from your head into a piece of paper and then making it turn live. It's not about how much money you make. The money is it's a consequence of doing good. If you deliver a good service, money will come. If you pursue money, you're going to lose the business. So it's that balance. All the difficult points of being an entrepreneur is one, can be lonely, and it doesn't have to be. Part of the reason why it becomes so lonely is because we tend to want to do it all ourselves. Trust me, if you've done a couple of things, the experience tells you you can't do it on your own. Identify those gaps and say, okay, I can't do that. There's a better person who can do that. Bring them in. Find a partner who becomes a sounding board. And that partner doesn't necessarily have to be here full-time with you. Right? That becomes a sounding board. Somebody you can go to and he will tell you, I know, here, you are off the rail. Come back. Right? Somebody would be able to give you unfiltered advice. And there will be failures. You will lose a deal somewhere. You will lose a site. You will lose money. The wireless ISP in Polokwane cost me over 2 million. I can't recoup it. I've got the sites. They're still standing there. But it's a school fees I paid. I've been getting a frog in my throat talking about it. But it's a fact. Right? It's cost me 2 million rand. But doing these basic things, you're not an island. Hire for attitude. Equip yourself. Right? Be willing to read, learn, study. Those then help to give you a better chance. Keep to your values. What are the things that you are capable of handling and what you're not? Because if you don't anchor yourself on the values that you have, then the pursuit of a business may become the pursuit of money, and the pursuit of money as the end goal easily derails people. Somebody comes in and says, if you are so interested in making money, why don't you start a bottle store? If I then deviate, I'll make money, but be miserable. I think that's the first thing. Because think about it. If the main reason why you're starting it is external, if those external stimulus move, are you going to stop? My hope is that no entrepreneur starts a business because he wants money. Become a drug dealer then. But when you start a business, you're trying to solve a problem. By solving a problem that somebody needs solved, they will be willing to pay for that solution. Then money comes.